there's this great leadership template, and it's hard to understand at first. It's very deep. When you look at it, it doesn't make sense, but it talks about the different types it's about staff officers in the military. And it ranges smart, hardworking, lazy, and stupid. And it's a quadrant. And if you have somebody who's stupid and lazy, you get rid of them. If you have somebody who is stupid but hardworking, you keep them, because you need that. You need that guy to move those papers.
Right.
If you have somebody who's smart and industrious, yeah, there's your chief of staff, because he keeps the people working. But if you have somebody who is smart and lazy, there's your genius. You promote them as high as you can. My name is Chris Danison, and this is my advice. My advice on leadership as it relates to staff development comes from my years of experience in the military and in the Department of Corrections. In the military, I started as a private, worked my way up through the ranks, and was mobilized and deployed a few times in different organizations, tank units, infantry, ran part of an airfield and combat engineer, and also in the Department of Corrections, where I currently work as a unit manager. And as a unit manager, my duties fall from supervising corrections officers, sergeants, lieutenants. I ran a drug and alcohol treatment program on the housing unit. I do staff development, and part of my duties are as innocuous as ordering mattresses, pillows, and toilet paper for use on the unit to provide a safe, secure housing unit in a correctional facility. Whether you're in the military, as a private in the trenches, trying to keep your guys together, or a commander running the war, or in the Department of Corrections ordering mattresses and pillows, the basic principles of leadership, the science of the leadership, is the same. The art of leadership varies, and leadership carries, no matter what the assignment is, whether it's something large or something small, 4 men, 4,500 men. The principles and the concepts are basically the same. Workplace atmosphere is set by the leadership, whether it's a manager, supervisor, lead worker. So the way you interact has an impact on how you're able to do your job. Leaders have a specific responsibility to get results. They're there for a specific reason, to get results. Leaders are different than managers. A manager manages a process. Whatever it is your production is, the manager makes sure the resources come in, that the staff are engaged, and they produce whatever it is, whether it's a product or a service. A leader specifically is there to get results. The methods that are used by different leaders vary by the different types of personalities, but effective leadership involves being able to be a manager and then go and beyond. So the manager manages the process, but the leader, part of what a good leader does is unleashes the potential of the employees. So not just come in, give you a desk, give you a phone, but interacts with the staff, sees what their strengths and weaknesses are, assess the best way they can contribute to the team or to the overall mission. A good leader supports the staff members, okay? If they have concerns, if they have ideas or some things that they want to talk about regarding the process, a leader doesn't just dismiss them outright and we've done it this way for 5 years, it's always worked, let's keep doing it. But supports them if they have an idea to see if it can flesh out to something. If the idea could have a positive impact on what the mission statement is, then the leader would support them and provide them resources to make those adjustments. It could be something as simple as like ergonomic furniture, or it could be something instead of carrying documents and files, perhaps a cart to push the files in, or any number of things. A leader also protects the staff, okay? And by protecting the staff, I mean make sure that other departments aren't dumping on that department, taking advantage of what the staff does and transferring work from their department in. Protects them from the outside departments and from coworkers who are not interacting properly. And by protecting a staff member, you're also enabling a staff member to do their job to the best of their ability, to their highest potential. Whether that means with furniture, assignments, lighting, things along those lines. A good leader also spends a lot of time developing the staff. They develop the staff as appropriate. So you have your task, you have your area, you have your resources, and you're doing your job. And that's okay. We're getting things done. That's the minimum standard. That's why you're hired. That's what you're doing. But as you get to know your staff, you should be interacting with them. You should be observing them doing their job. And in the course of doing that, you're developing ideas for the performance evaluation, which is where you're going to write down how you assess their performance and perhaps make some recommendations. Well, when you're interacting with the staff and seeing how they do their job and interact in the department and outside the department, you may see potential in this staff member, or you may see ambition in this staff member. Staff member may be doing the current job they're doing, but may have the ability to perhaps be a lead worker or a supervisor or a manager or whatever capability. And this you'll observe by watching them do their job. So you develop your staff as appropriate, because some people I've discovered over my career, some people are worker bees and they're happy to be worker bees. They love it. They want to be in their desk, in their office, in their department, and they are the subject matter experts on widgets. They know widgets inside and out, and they love it. They love being the go-to person for this information or this process. Other people are more ambitious and want to move on or move up, or they just want to contribute more to the overall operations. So you have to be able to recognize that. I've always been ambitious. I've always assumed everybody else was too and wanted to get promoted. And I have these people that I've seen who are really good at their job and have talked to them about promoting and moving on, and absolutely not. Absolutely not. They have no interest in it because they like that comfort of the familiar, of the routine. And that's fine. I've had other people who've articulated an ambition, but when you see them do their work is not the type of work that you would want to develop into a leader. So you've got to be able to spend your time and know your people enough to see who would be appropriate, or if someone has let you know that they're interested in promotion, but they're not demonstrating the right skill set, then you spend the time, fine-tuning them, nudging them into the right direction. But the key is know your people. If you're going to supervise, you got to know your team. You got to know who's best for customer service, who's best for fact-finding and research, who's best for implementation, and who's best for whatever their particular skill set is. And despite it all, there's a place for everybody in the boat. Not everybody rows. Some people are best at the rudder. Good for them. As you develop staff, you can develop them by providing them opportunities. So if you have somebody that you see is getting the work done, but is losing the challenge, is not going in every day and being challenged through the course of doing the job that they're required to do, you can develop them by providing them opportunities. One thing I like to do is job shadowing. So if I'm a unit manager, and if I have somebody who wants to be a unit manager, I will take them with me when I do things that are specific to my job. Most of what I do, people don't see. It's background noise that lets them do their job. So I'll take that staff member and I'll show them this is a monthly report I do. This is information I provide to the higher ups. This is what I do with that document that you hand me after you fill it out. And I show them this is how I assess it. This is what I decide to do with it. And so they can get an idea of what it would be like to be in my position. If they're interested, then I'll show them other things. I'll take them to meetings, job shadowing. This person's just here to observe what happens here and to see how our department ties in. A variety of ways you can do that. Another good one is especially people who are very inventive and innovative. Instead of me developing a process or a new policy, I'll take that person and I'll say, I've got a special project for you. I want you to develop a draft policy for how we can do this. Give them a chance to go out, interact, work beyond their job assignment, and give them a challenge. And when they come back, you can look at it, see what they've done, assess it, give them some suggestions if necessary, or look at it at face value, and if it looks like it's a good idea, go with it. And make sure they get the credit for the idea. Many policies I've written in my career, and I'd say most, just to be honest, most policies I've written were not written by me. I went to the end user. We needed a new ID process for IDs. I went to the person who's going to be doing it. That's not their only job, not their only assignment, but they were given the equipment, they were given the responsibility, so we needed a process for getting IDs completed. I didn't go in and say, hey, every Tuesday and Thursday you're going to make IDs. I went to the individual and I said, all right, what does your work shift look like? If you were going to do these IDs, when would be the best time and why? Because that may affect another department. And I let the end user, the staff member who was going to get this new additional assignment, let them develop the process so it would fit in to the way that person was doing their current job. They wrote it up, we came up with a draft, and I took the draft, typed it up, and handed it to my boss for my boss's signature. But I made sure everybody knew that it was the staff member who did it, because just because I handed you the document and the boss signs it, because I want the other bosses to also know this person is capable of these types of things. Now, why would I do that? I call that staff development. That staff development and that mentoring and job shadowing, all that has benefits for the organization, benefits for the operation. So it's not just, hey, I'm a nice person, I like helping people. I'm helping me and I'm helping my operations. If I have staff members who can operate above their skill, their constant skill set required to do the job, we might be able to do more. We might be able to take on more. So why would I invest all this time in my people when my job is to manage the process? Literally, and I tell my people this, I'm the mattress and pillow guy. I make sure we have enough mattresses and enough pillows. That's specifically one of the second most important things I do. But by developing my staff, now I have people who can anticipate what the department's going to need, anticipate what's going on in their job, and when they understand how I'm coming to the decisions I'm coming to, it enables them to take the initiative. They're only going to do this if once they take that initiative and do something, whether it's right or wrong, I've got to back them up on it. Now, if it's wrong, then I pull them aside, quietly say, hey, I see you saw the opportunity, you stepped in, and you made something happen. That's great. Now, what you didn't see is that other department relies on the end product of that thing that you discontinued. So I show them where it could be done, give them the information that they were missing to make a better decision. But I don't punish them or go after them for stepping outside their bounds, because that makes people shut down. If I take the initiative and I do something and it's wrong, and my boss comes right at me telling me it's not my responsibility and to mind my own business, Well, now I'm going to focus everything I got right on my desk, and no matter what's going on around me, because I've learned my lesson. If you encourage the behavior, even if it means reinforcing it by making slight adjustments and get them out to be comfortable making decisions on her own again, now you get more stuff done. Nobody's waiting for me. I like to travel, like to take time off. If I'm not at my desk, I want my staff to feel comfortable enough to handle a situation and not wait till I come back on Monday. That's the benefit I get, the operational enhancement I get from staff development. It enhances their performance. It gets buy-in because they know the process of what's going in. And if they provide input before I make operational changes, now they feel better about what our department's doing because part of it is your idea. This person came in and you know this person, and if they were able to get a change done, now you're going to be thinking, how can we do this better? Instead of sitting waiting for me to say something or hoping that I come up with a good idea. Because it doesn't always happen. Sometimes I'm tired. I can't help it. It increases productivity because one of the things when you start listening to their ideas, even if you don't implement them, they reassess themselves, reassess the department, and see how things can be done. Things that I would not see because they're interacting with others as they provide reports and receive information. Things that I won't see because I just see the finished product that they give me. They can come to me with suggestions, like when they interact with other departments, it'd be easier, something as simple as they send me a paper to the staff member. The staff member fills out the paper, sends it back to the other department, and then something is produced because of it. Well, it's easier if you just scan the document and just reply or use voting buttons on an email or any number of things that I'm not thinking about because I'm not sending out the reports waiting for a reply. I get the finished product. They can make that recommendation, and if they see these recommendations are being seriously considered and occasionally implemented, they improve their own performance. Things that we haven't considered we could do. And by teaching my people to do things a certain way, and by developing staff members to become leaders a certain way, that helps me and my organization because now I'm shaping the organization in a way that works for me, into a process that I understand, and a process that I'm comfortable with, and I'm creating future me's, which, as you know, are pretty awesome. So that works out well for me anyway. By taking the time to interact with your staff and to engage with them on a daily basis, you'll have a better understanding of how your operations are going. You'll have a better understanding of what capability you're operating at. And as you have people move on, promote out, and have to bring new people in, you know what to look for when you're hiring. I can get an idea of how to replace the capability I've just lost. And even though I may have 3 qualified candidates, I can look at the one who's going to fit into here and bring what we need, not just replace what we had. And that's why leadership is important, not just in improving performance, but at staff development.
If we knew then all that we know now, I think the world would be better someday.